The Ford Everest was launched in South Africa about a year and a half ago, and late last year they increased the range and increased the scope of the range by bringing in the 2.2 litre diesel engine as well. And that to me was a real high point in the Everest life in South Africa. I was on the launch of the 2.2 litre Everest, and there are previous videos showing the 2.2 litre on launch. Well, we've had the 2.2 litre 4x4 manual XLS, a long name as seems to be happening with vehicles these days. The four-wheel drive versions in 2.2 only come XLS spec and manual gearbox. If you want automatic gearboxes, you want higher spec, the XLT spec, you have to go to the front-wheel drive only versions. Body-wise, it's exactly the same as the previous 3.2 litre Everest, which means it's a very large vehicle, over 5 meters long, and you can see it certainly has that length, it has that space. You'll see in a few moments when we look inside how large this vehicle actually is and how much space it really does have. And you go round to the back, 5 seats obviously as normal, and then you do also have the 2 extra seats in the boot area that extend and can be folded up separately, which is very useful. Obviously, with all 7 seats in use, there is a little bit of a compromise on boot space. As a 5-seat, it has the massive boot area, or you could even go half-half and have one of each if you really would like it that way. So you've got many ways of skinning this cat and of basically setting the vehicle up to suit your own personal uses and needs. That's what makes it great. My experience with the 4x4 version, there is a video on the Motor Matters YouTube channel showing where I actually did some off-roading in this exact same specification model, the 2.2 litre, and with the manual gearbox off-roading in 4x4 mode. Let's take a look what life is like on the inside of this vehicle. Coming inside the Ford Everest, again, it's a familiar place if you've seen the vehicle or from my previous videos, but a couple of features to show you. You've got your multifunction steering wheel, which is absolutely standard nowadays. All your controls over here for your computer systems, your sound system, your telephone, and over here, which is very nice of course, is you do have your cruise control over there, and that's always useful as well for open road driving. A feature on this vehicle that I like, and it has it on the driver door and the passenger door, is it does have the automatic lock on pull away, but the button to lock and unlock the doors right there, very easy to use, and repeated on the passenger door as well. I like that. Being the XLS version, one feature on this vehicle that you've got to accept by buying the XLS is the infotainment screen in the center. And well, I don't know, I'd really like to see Sync 3, which is the upgraded version. You need XLT spec minimum to get that. And I'd like to see Ford actually up the game there and bring Sync 3 into this version as well. Just something I like because I think that is really a little bit outdated today. You come down, you've got very neat features over here. You've got your climate control system over here with rear climate separate, which is also really nice and useful. 6-speed manual gearbox in this version. Nice gearbox. You've got to accept, again, a big vehicle. It's a heavy vehicle, therefore your clutch and gear shift are that little bit heavier in operation in day-to-day use. If I was buying the vehicle, your trade-off is if you want the 4-wheel drive option, you have to have the manual gearbox, and that's something I just don't know. You want automatic with 4-wheel drive, go up to the 3.2 litre versions. But what you do have that's standard to all the 4-wheel drive versions is very simple click-click facility to go from normal use to, that is of course, dirt roads to rock climbing, etc., just simply by turning a button. And that center one over here is your hill descent control, which I have used on previous occasions and works exceptionally well. You press that button and then you actually operate it using your cruise control button on the steering wheel over here, and you simply increase or decrease your speed using that button over there. And it works exceptionally well, and I came down a mountainside using this system very nicely and very easily. Then over and above that multi-mode over here for your off-road, you of course have a push button 4x4 low and diff lock. Again, just press of a button and there it is, and it gives you everything you want if you are really going proper off-road and using it in heavy duty usage. Really nice, really useful. And there's the DSC button as well if you want to switch out the DSC system and loosen up the tail a little bit, perhaps on a dirt road. Just one of those features you can use. Also for towing, sometimes it is necessary. Beyond that, you take a look in the back, you can see tons of legroom in the back seat, and the seat immediately behind the driver can slide backwards and forwards, and that is to operate to get you to that third row of seats right at the back. I have on a previous occasion ridden in that rearmost seat and actually traveled in it to experience it for myself and to prove the fact that it is actually usable even for an adult. Maybe not for a 6-footer, but certainly was comfortable enough for myself. Let's give a couple of figures and specs now. The 2.2 litre engine, very familiar to the Ford range, is that 118 kilowatt, 385 newton meters of torque. That's what's really big on this vehicle. So it gives you exceptional towing ability. You have that as a given on this engine. To me, it's a peach of an engine. I've always really liked this 2.2 litre diesel engine that Ford have. Economy-wise, driving this vehicle for a week, we've averaged approximately 10 litres per 100 kilometers, and that's very much town and freeway usage. So it's not the most economical vehicle on the market, but you've got to look at the fact that it is a very big vehicle, big usage, permanent four-wheel drive, all those factors. So I think it makes up for it and gives you that good ability, but of course giving you all the space you want. Cruising ability, 120, 130, absolutely beautiful. Ford have used that white sound elimination system in this vehicle, which means it is exceptionally quiet as a cruiser on the open road. Again, a great feature, and cruising along at freeway speeds, it's a very quiet, comfortable, relaxing vehicle to drive. Finally, let's talk price. 536,900 Rand is the manufacturer's recommended price for this vehicle. And it's pretty much in the middle of the range of the Everest range from Ford. Opposition, absolutely. We all know you've got the Toyota Fortuner, you've got the Chev Trailblazer, you've got the Pajero Sport as well, which I think is a little bit outdated now, but I think there's a new version coming pretty soon. But all I can tell you, in my book, with this peach of an engine, this 2.2 litre, with a 5-year 90,000 kilometer service plan thrown into the deal, if you're looking for a 7-seater family SUV with lots of off-road ability as well, take a look at this one. For Motor Matters, I'm Alan R, and I'll see you next time.